asked, what's a session like? What do you actually do with clients during a session? Sessions are very client-specific. They depend on the client's specific goals, on their individual fitness levels, and on what kind of limitations they might have, any injuries or joint problems. Today I'm going to take you through a session with my ideal client, Mrs. Jones. Mrs. Jones is 67. She just retired last year from a career as a commercial loan officer in a national bank, but she still stays very active. She volunteers at the hospital every other week, and she walks a couple of times a week with friends. She also has joined a book club which meets on Tuesdays. Mrs. Jones came to me because she wants to lose about 20 pounds, and she's also hoping that I can help her strengthen her shoulder, her rotator cuff. It's been bothering her lately, and she really doesn't want to have surgery. She's also very concerned about her health. She's got high blood pressure, and she'd really like to be able to reduce her medication. We always begin Mrs. Jones' session with a warm-up. This consists of a series of movements, of dynamic movements that are designed to get the blood flowing, to elevate her heart rate, and to stretch the muscles that she's actually going to be working. Studies have shown that this type of stretching and this type of warm-up prepares the muscles to work and causes them to perform better during the workout than just simply stretching and holding. These movements, such as arm circles or toe touches, start gently, and they'll gradually increase in intensity until we get to the level that Mrs. Jones is going to be working at for the bulk of her workout. Skipping the warm-up and training cold muscles can lead to strains and tears, so I never allow a client to exercise without this warm-up. It's a very critical step. It's also during this time when I talk to Mrs. Jones about how her week's been going, how things have been going since we last saw each other, how her diet's coming along. We also talk about what's coming up in the days ahead, any challenges she might be facing that we need to plan for. Basically, this is the time of the workout where I can assess how her progress is going so that I can make any adjustments that I need to help her stay on track. After the warm-up, we move into the bulk of the workout. This is where we really get into addressing Mrs. Jones' specific goals. Now, I've pre-selected about 8 exercises for today that are designed to help her get to her goals: weight loss, strengthening her shoulder, improving her cardiovascular fitness to help her lower her blood pressure. So, I've started with an exercise to help her strengthen her shoulder and also increase her range of motion. I've also selected exercises to work all of the major muscle groups, the legs, and especially the back. Mrs. Jones has been sitting at a desk for many years, and so she's developed an imbalance between the muscles in the front of her body and the muscles in the back of her body. So while I focus on all of the muscles, I pay particular attention to the muscles along the posterior chain, or on the back, which is the back, the glutes, and the back of the legs. These exercises are designed to help Mrs. Jones maintain her muscle mass and also to increase her metabolism so that it will help her promote weight loss. Now, I've also selected an exercise that has a cardio component, which is designed to elevate her heart rate even just a little bit more so that she gets cardiovascular fitness improvement. Heart health is a major component of overall health and very important for Mrs. Jones to help her lower her blood pressure. These exercises are designed to be very challenging. Fitness improves when we get just outside of our comfort zone. So these exercises are going to be challenging for Mrs. Jones, but they'll still be very doable. At the end of these exercises, Mrs. Jones is going to feel like she's had a good workout, and she's going to be glad that this portion of the work is over. But she's not going to feel beat up. She's still going to have a little bit of energy left. From here we move into the cool down. Now, the cool down is also a very important part of the workout. It's designed to gradually lower Mrs. Jones' heart rate, to get it back into a normal level before we finish with the stretching. This is important to avoid any negative circulatory effects that may occur due to the physiological changes that have happened while she's been exercising, the elevated heart rate, breathing deeper, those kind of things. During the cool down portion, I've selected 2 exercises to work the core. The core is basically the torso. These are all the stabilizing muscles that are important for our posture and balance. I choose to work these at the end of the workout when these muscles are no longer needed to stabilize the body for the weight-bearing exercises that we've done in the previous portion. These exercises are also going to be very challenging, again doable, but they're going to let her heart rate gradually come down to a normal level. I also incorporate, at this point, lateral movements, side to side. I also incorporate movements that go across the body. As adults, we don't normally move in these directions anymore. Most of the work that we do is right in the box in front of us, so computers, driving, that sort of thing. So it's important to incorporate these types of movements to improve balance, stability. And this is really important for a client like Mrs. Jones, as improving her balance can help her in the long run, perhaps prevent her from having a serious fall later in life. So from here we move into the stretching portion. Flexibility is an often overlooked component, but very important. Stretching can prevent injury, strains, and tears, promotes flexibility, which is for balance. This is a very important part. We did some dynamic stretching at the beginning of the workout, where we did some moving stretching, and so it's at the end of the workout that it's appropriate to do the stretch and hold. This helps relax the muscle, which is an important part of the recovery process. During the stretching portion of the workout is when I review with Mrs. Jones the plans that we made for the week ahead, any strategies that we needed to overcome some challenges that she might be facing. And during this portion we also reiterate any goals that we've set for the week ahead. Believe it or not, Mrs. Jones' session today lasted only 30 minutes. We covered a lot in those 30 minutes. So it's important that every single movement and exercise that I select helps Mrs. Jones get to her goals. That's what I love about my job. Thank you.